नाथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Om. May all my limbs become strong. May my mind, sensory organs, the intellect and the life's force become perfected and efficient. All is verily one without second, blissful existence itself. Let me never deny this truth of the oneness of blissful existence, the Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. I am aware that experience of the Brahman needs many qualities or virtues to be developed as spoken of by the scriptures. May all those virtues be with me. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the all-pervading, blissful existence itself as infinite luminous ocean, and I am a wave on it. I am just a form as wave rises and falls. But removing this constantly changing form, I am the ocean. All the other waves also are ocean. I am infinite. Beyond birth and death. I have no desires, for I am all that is. I am bliss itself. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, welcome dear friends for this 107th discussion on stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. Let us begin by reciting our usual opening chant, which, as you know, forms the first verse of this great treatise of devotion and knowledge. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsists in their causes without changing their elemental nature, whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. So, in this there is nothing false and nothing has actually changed in having this creation manifest. Without any change it appears. That is how the nature of this truth is. We had this discussion before, just to again reintroduce this idea. Let us see that there are different types of creations. Things come into existence by either, production, that you get something is produced out of something else, and there is a transformation that goes there. Like in the, you have the seeds, and from the seed you get the trees and all that, the So that is a production, lot of crop comes out, lot of fruits. So you sell them, all that is creation. In the sense it is a production. That is why it is called produce. So there is another type where it is not with you here, but it is already there in some shop. You go and buy it. It is, the first is called in Sanskrit Utpadya, the second is called Apya. That you don't have, say, milk, you go in the grocery store and buy it, then it is called Apya. That it is, you got it. Then there is something that is, you make some modification and then get the thing, like from milk you get yogurt by putting the culture, and then it is the milk gets thus curdled up, and then you see that it is a yogurt gets formed there. It is curdling of milk. So that is called vikarya, means a modification or a distortion has come into it. So that is another way of getting things. And there is some that it is just process of cleaning. Like you have a mirror which has lot of dust accumulated on it. Now if Marian stands in front of it, can't see anything, but now she doesn't need to go and buy another mirror. She just has to wipe that, and then it becomes clean, it becomes a really functional mirror. But then the production or the creation of this universe from the one without second reality falls in none of these. It is called therefore vivarta. The analogy is that one thing appearing like another. So there is, without any change, it got created. I was telling that somebody saw a bear where there was a log of wood. Now the log of wood did not undergo any change, but the bear got created there. So that is how this world is an appearance. All the time it is God. There is nothing else but God. Even when you are seeing it as all this, in actuality there has been no change at all. It still is God and God alone. So this truth has been brought out through various stories here. We were seeing the story of God incarnation, that is Rishabha, the son of Nabhi, King Nabhi. And this we saw that he first went ahead to exhibit or to show the ideal of a householder's life. It is the God assumes a human form to teach humanity. So the function of that is nothing for oneself. Remember that incident here, that the Nabhi and many of his associated, those priests, they were praying for a son to Lord, and then Lord appeared and they said that, oh, give us a son like you. Now God said, there is nobody else like me. So in that case I myself will be taking birth as the son of Nabhi. It is a great concept called avatar in the Hindu scriptures that God appearing as man in different wordings or different ideas. The same principle is there in many other religions also, like the word in John's book we read that the word became flesh. So this is the word becoming flesh. And what is the purpose of that? To show human beings their ideal and the way to reach that ideal. That is how Jesus says, I am the goal, I am the way. Both are depicted, both are beautifully presented in the lives of these. So, Rishabha exactly did like that. Since majority, a vast majority, like 99.99% people, they do not go to a monastic life. They lead a householder's life, which is what it means is that they have a spouse, a partner, and then they have children, a family, and so forth. They have the means of earning money, and they have I and mine. That is their my possessions. That is how one's life goes. I and my possessions. So that is a life that is adopted by almost everybody except a very few exceptions. So the ideal has to be shown for them. So Rishabha became a householder and led a life where it is the life of practicing devotion even while being in householder's life. That is, the duties of the householder's life are done, and yet the mind is kept on God. So you actually live where your mind lives. Human beings are not just body, they live where their major part of human life is connected with mind. So where their mind is, they live there. So the mind should be attached to God while all the household work is to be carried on. So he exhibited that. Now when he had his sons and so forth, they became grown up. So he now gave up his kingdom and went to forest. So he told everybody, imparted these teachings before going to his sons as well as to the vast multitude of his subjects gathered to hear him, that follow these paths: devotion to Guru, keep holy company, study of scriptures, and try to see God, seeing God in everything. That is acknowledging that everything is God in actuality. Like when we are seeing a movie, we see this car, this man, this woman, this mountain, this house, and so forth. But we are aware that it is all actually screen. It is, therefore, even if you like somebody in the movie, it is a nice man, you don't leave your chair and go to hug that person, because you know that it is just a screen. It is long ago there was some insane person who saw some a villain in the movie was about to commit some terrible act, And so he could not withstand that, wanted to stop that fellow, and taking a knife in his hand, rushed to the screen there to kill this fellow. Made a big hole in the screen. So that's about it, because even though you are seeing many things, what actually is there is screen. So everybody knows it about movie, but we should know it about this. All that we see is just like a movie. What is real is the unchanging screen, that is the self, that is the Atman. Atman is in all and is same in all, just like screen. There is no separate screens, one for Rama and another for Ravana. Such ideas cannot be there, can't be a movie then. The same screen runs through all. It is in the tiger in the movie, and the man on whom the tiger jumps and is devouring that. That also is the same screen, and the screen doesn't get affected at all. You may see lot of blood in the movie, but there is no blood stain on the screen. It remains the same. So Atman remains the same. And that is seeing God in everything. There is the changing principle. Transcend that and reach the unchanging principle, unchanging reality. So this is the teaching that he gave them, not just by words. By words it doesn't become effective. And why the words become effective is when they are backed by the life and the character of the person. Otherwise it is just air, and nobody cares for those frothy words. But when there is the life that you see demonstrating these ideas, then and then alone these words become meaningful and powerful. And now he decided thus to, he left for the forest to demonstrate the ideal of true monastic life. That also has to be demonstrated. In Sri Ramakrishna, you can see both ideal householder's life and ideal monastic's life. So because that also is the ideal, that also has to be shown. So Rishabha now therefore left the kingdom and started living in a forest. He carried nothing with him except body. It is important to see the usage of the word. He carried body with him. Do we feel like that when we go somewhere? I went to mall carrying my body with me. Do we ever feel like that? That is where one learns to separate oneself from the body. It is, that you are separate from your car. Understandable. That yes, I went to mall in my car, and nobody minds that statement. Oh, I went to mall carrying my body. Sounds so strange. Because you and body are same for all of us. We feel identified with it. But Rishabha's awareness being very different. Body is a tool. And he carried that tool with him, but nothing, no other paraphernalia that goes with the body. We need lot of money, we need lot of clothings, and many other things. So he did not carry any of that, and just this. put on a repulsive appearance. The hair not kept at all well, all over. They are moving on his face, and the appearance was very, very shabby, dirty. Why so? Because that is a part of monastic life actually, not to attract people. If a person is attracting others, that is, you want somebody to get connected with you, to get attracted to you. So you make an attractive appearance so that somebody would like you. That is a common thing. It is not. Rather, if somebody is not doing that, it is considered terribly strange. It is put on good clothes, wash your face, put good appearance, put jewelry and other things, so that one becomes attractive. It is, but a monk should take care that his appearance should not attract people, especially for wrong reasons. It is very easy to get attracted, and so therefore it is told that a monk should put on a very ordinary type of clothing. It is like rags. Many times I get this question, what is the reason that you put on these ochre clothes? I said it is now the original idea is to put on the clothing that is soiled, that's it. So you dip it in soil. So it loses whatever color it had and looks shabby. So now, since we are Swamis living in society, we don't do that. But it is basically that we dip it in the soil and then put it on. And do not bother about different colors and different types of attire, just same. It is, Swamis do not give much business to garment industry, as you can see. It is, so the idea is that put on a repulsive appearance. And then just travel, means go on where the feet take you, like that, and not a particular destination as such, through cities, villages, military camps and cowherd settlements, all along. Now seeing such a person unsocial, not following any norms of appearance, etiquettes and so forth. Now people start persecuting by threatening, beating and spitting on him, throwing stones and so many things. Which is not that those people are bad. Although it is said all along, evil men. And evil in the sense that they were not able to see the greatness beyond. And normally those who do not behave like me, I think, oh, what kind of clothes this fellow is putting on. No, should be taught a lesson. This is... and so, throw this fellow out of our society, hoot that fellow out. Even Swami Vivekananda was hooted through the streets of Chicago and other places because of his strange attire and strange appearance. So, it is not uncommon to see such scenes. So, especially the little children who always are looking for some fun. When they see something strange, and then they would go after that fellow and so forth. It is Sri Ramakrishna describes the case of a person. He was a highly evolved spiritually, and so didn't care for anything. So he had put on the appearance, so looking so aghast, and but Sri Ramakrishna could recognize the greatness there, and then his nephew Hriday, he went after him. So to dissuade him from following him, this man started throwing stones at him. But still he followed him, till this fellow stood and shouted at him, saying that when you see no difference between the water of Ganges and water of a street sewage, when you see that they are not different, then you have realized the truth. That is the, you have to of course probe this sentence at depth, that it is many insects will not find much difference between them. Doesn't mean that they have realized the truth. What it means is that this substance beyond the appearance has to be seen. So the superficial appearance needs to be wiped off, so that you can see the underlying sameness. So this is this Rishabha's case, all you can see that, and normally people will have a reaction. Oh, I can put on whatever I want. Why should they bother me? You would get angry with them. You may scold them or scream at them. No, Rishabha, he was, as this Bhagavatam says, but being firmly established in the awareness of what is real, what is unreal, he was not perturbed at all. What is there? Let them hit me by stones, or whatever. Let them do whatever their heart's intention is, to their heart's content. He did not get angry or agitated at all. So this is because there is this changing and the unchanging. This discernment is there. The real and the pseudo appearance, this distinction being so clearly present in his life, he did not at all bother about it. Then the description goes that in the description of Brahmajnanis, or the person with supreme knowledge, so he then decided to stay just at one place. There are different types of life taken up by such mendicants is described, who have realized God, who has seen the supreme truth. Now their body is just going on for only possible purpose to scatter this wisdom to people. There is no other selfish idea behind it. as Shankaracharya describes in Vivek Chudamani, Vasantaval Lokahitam Charantah. They move around just bringing the welfare of people around, like the springtime makes all the buds come up, the leaves start coming out, flowers start coming out. So it is like that. And also that very book describes that how this Chidambaro va Picha Sambaro va, various types of appearances you will find in them. Somebody who is not putting on anything, somebody might have put on something found in the forest like a deer skin, or somebody would be just sitting like as if it's a ghost. Then there is some like ghoul, a madman, or not going anywhere like that. So there are 4 types of attitudes described in the scripture. That it is, one is called ajagar, means a python. It is the style of a python. That it is, you have python, the speciality of python is, it does not run after the prey. The prey, as it were, comes to it. It just inhales and grabs it. It doesn't chase like a tiger or a lion, it's a prey. It is just sitting at a place, camouflaged, and unsuspecting fellow just passing by, gone, inhaled. So it is, there was, just recently I read this story that one person had kept a python as a pet, and they python, they give python mouse to eat. They buy mouse and then put before the python, and python swallows, doesn't actually eat much. Therefore it is a low maintenance pet, the python. So, and that person used to keep the python right in the bed, and both would sleep nicely. And then for some time now the python had stopped eating the mouse. And so this was taken to the vet. What is happening? He has stopped eating. The vet said that now don't sleep near, keep the python away. The python is getting ready to swallow you. So it is not eating those little things anymore. So that is how one does, before going to a big party, then you don't eat this and that, so that it is. So the point is, python gets its food right where it is. So this fellow does not go anywhere. Food comes to him, and it lives just here. The description is that all was done right there. Even they used to sleep, eat, and excretion also was happening right there. And it is, and we would feel, oh my goodness, how could that be? But look at that, it is our idea is something that is good for us, but where there is no distinction seen between good, so-called nice and not nice, all that has vanished. So therefore, It is described also that this excretion from his body was so fragrant. Now you can imagine, but it is the book writes that because there is no such the mental impurities to cause it smell bad. It is the book says that for long distance the fragrance would get spread. So anyway, as it there is the other that like a cow, lived like a cow. Means cow does not stand, on two legs. So he moved like that, like a cow. Then like a deer, means eating things like deer, and a crow, means just sitting on the two legs and then moving the hands as if they are wings. So like a crow, all these are described in scriptures, that a person who has realized that state can live like this. And then because of all his yogic practices, it is described in the yoga aphorisms that so many powers come to this person. They are just because of all the nerves have become so fine, the perceptions have become so deep, the powers become now available. All the different powers like walking through the sky, then going anywhere by the speed of the mind, the power of entering another body, all that, all those mysterious powers, these powers came to him automatically. He didn't seek them. Though the follower of this path of yoga, such powers come as a matter of consequence as you move. So all these powers visited him, but he rejected all of them. So, because they are told by Patanjali to be obstacles in the path of attainment of samadhi. They are powers only for those who are looking for worldly enjoyments. And so, such people look for those. Those who see that they are actually big obstacles for the attainment of samadhi, they reject these powers. You surely must have heard the great incident in the life of Swami Vivekananda. When he was Narendra, one day Sri Ramakrishna called him near him and said, "Look, during the course of all this spiritual practice, so many powers, occult powers, have come to me, but I don't use them. If you want, I can give you those. And just say yes or no." Narendra did not say immediately yes or no. He said, "Are they useful in attaining God?" So, not immediate rejection, a thoughtful action, not emotionally saying yes or no, but are those powers useful in realizing God? And Sri Ramakrishna categorically said, "No, but for later on, for preaching this ideal, they can be of use." And Narendranath said, "No, I don't want them. I don't want them." It was a kind of very nice temptation there. that would have proved to be an obstacle in the path of samadhi, in the path of realization of self. So somebody would have thought, like say Yogatmananda might have thought that okay, Sri Ramakrishna is giving anyway. Right now they may not be useful, but keep it with me. When later on I may need, I can take it out. Let it be for now with me. Later on I can put it to use. A big trap. And Narendranath escaped that trap. No, I don't need them. It is. So exactly this question here came, that these powers visited Rishabha, but to demonstrate that these powers come, but a spiritual aspirant should reject them. Patanjali says they are Yuthane Siddhayah Samadhau Upasargaha. They are upasargas, means obstacles on the path of samadhi. But in your worldly life, to get things, you can use them. Everybody wants to be rich, and if you can say have the power of entering a bank without being seen and taking all the money, then yeah. But why would you do then the practice of yoga for that? It is very important. So here King Parikshit then asked this question. Very important question. The whole story is being told by the sage Shuka to the King Parikshit. So Parikshit asked this question, that what is this? O great sage, in case of those who are established in the Atman, they have already burned the seeds of karma in the fire of yoga. How can the powers of yoga that have come to them automatically prove to be a bondage to them? Why did then Rishabha refuse to accept them? An ordinary person refusing to accept is okay, but Rishabha, already established in the self, these powers wouldn't be doing any harm to him. Why did he reject them then? Who is asking? The king. Parikshit is asking, a representative of all. Because we like these powers, we have value for it. So we think, why should they be rejected? It is a common thing that a person, he should have kept it. If he didn't want to use them, he could have given it to me. So it is because we want such things. It is our mind that is speaking in this question. That why did he reject it? The idea is that they are very valuable. There was the incident when the ornaments, the golden jewelry in the Kali temple was stolen. In the temple of this Krishna, in the same compound there is temple of Radha Krishna. So those jewelry was stolen. And then Mathur, the owner, got so upset and then said, what kind of God how can that God protect us? Could not protect even his own ornaments. And that God is like, how can he protect us? So he presented this doubt to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna laughed and said that, well, for a stupid like you, they are valuable jewelries and so forth. What does the Lord of the universe cares for all these little things? For him they are not valuable at all to be preserved. Okay, some trash somebody took, that's it, So, because we value these powers, we wonder why was that rejected. And then to Rishabha was going to present the ideal monastic, an ideal person in this path, and so one has to be very, very careful about the vagaries of mind. That is, Sage Shuka replies, what you say is true. What you say, of course, is true. Now there is a but. But, he says, but though the mind has been controlled, it cannot be trusted too much. And we all have experience of this. It is, what is it? Can we trust our mind? No, obviously, it is one day it is okay, another day it is going somewhere else. So it is can't be trusted. It is described in the books in India like a monkey, but not just a monkey. Monkey basically is, of course, very jumpy, fickle, all the time running about. So you cannot tell monkey, hey, come on, sit and meditate. Not possible. But suppose, in addition to being like that, that monkey is made a drunk. And in addition to that, if a scorpion stings that monkey, then in addition a ghost possessed it. Now how will that monkey be behaving? The mind is, to some extent, can be compared to that monkey. Actually, mind exceeds in its jumpiness even a monkey be treated with all these things. So, you cannot really trust the mind much. So, the discipline is very important. Nobody should say that, oh yeah, now I have experienced this self, so I can behave as I want. They can easily, this quote can be, and I have seen many give this quote, Nistraigunne pathi vicharata ko vidhi ko nishedha. The one who is beyond the three gunas. Now for that person, where are the do's and don't do's? Okay, if you are beyond these the three gunas, okay, that is true. But you may get into the spell of these three gunas just by the desire of being not following the discipline. So follow the discipline. It is very important for spiritual aspirants. Not important for, of course, Rishabha. But Rishabha is giving the ideal, presenting it. So, although it was not needed for him, looking at him, that people would have followed his example. And so, that is how we do. That, oh, Lord Krishna did like this, then why should we not do? Even Lord Krishna was a thief, so if I do thieving, what is wrong in that? All these things can happen. So, therefore, the one who is setting the ideal has to be very careful Not that it is a conscious thing, but unconsciously the life of such a person follows the path of complete discipline. So, mm, he says that Shuka says, so it is said, do not compromise with the fickle mind, for by doing so, even very powerful personages have lost all their spiritual powers. A yogi who trusts his mind too much is like a husband who does so in regard to an unfaithful wife. The fickle mind might betray him into the hands of his enemies like lust and its allies, just as that is how it happens. They quickly the mind moves into those paths, and then it is very difficult to stop it. Shankaracharya gives the example of a tennis ball. No? He doesn't use the word tennis ball. There was no. He uses only ball, kanduka. So, if a ball just gets dropped at the top of a staircase, at the top, now as it goes down, it gathers more and more momentum. Then catching the ball is very difficult because it goes on more and more speedily, bounces more and more. So it is like that, the mind. You let it off the discipline, and thus you can see the result of it. So therefore it is, can any man of true discrimination put full trust in the mind, in the belief that it has come under his control? No, it is, never think that the mind is in my control. In fact, this thought itself shows that it is not in our control. The very idea that, hey, I have controlled the mind, means what? Just think that attitude, that statement, I have controlled the mind, means the ego, an aspect of mind, has started controlling you already. That is why this idea comes. So, therefore it is, he is doing like this. So, thus his life is shown here, and then he entered the forest. He was staying in the forest, but once he went into the dense forest, and then there was the big forest fire, and the forest got burned, his body also got burned. So that is the end of this wonderful story of Rishabha, God incarnate as human beings, so that human beings can realize their godness. So that is the purpose of their life. So incarnation of God. Now we will see from next class the story of Bharata, the son of this Rishabha. He assumed the role of king, and then it is said that this Bharata's rule was so extensive, so good, that the country, that is India, became known as Bharata because of this Bharata. From Bharata, whatever is connected with Bharata gets called Bharata. So that is how we shall take it up next Friday. So let us chant, have the concluding chant, and then if you have any questions, you can voice them or type them. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any question? Oh.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's more of a comment. When you go in the world, you don't have pockets. When you go in the world, you don't have pockets, first of all.
Who don't have, you don't
Swami's
have pockets?
or, no, I have pockets.
No, I have pockets, you know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That does that.
Yeah.
But in fact, when you walk in the world with your orange, you basically shift someone's consciousness just a little, thinking that if you can, you're free in some ways, different, like a fresh air flowing through normal society, I think.
Yeah, there is some effect like that I have noticed.
Yeah.
Also, some other effect also I have seen, like contempt.
Right. Right.
Not only here, in India also, I have noticed both this some that the good vibrations, as you mentioned, but then there is the idea of contempt also, that these freeloaders and why should they be there, they should be punished or whatever, an attitude of contempt, that also is there. And that serves the monks well, that let there be people that condemn you or have contempt for you, so that you are not associated much with them. Yeah. Yes, please. I forgot your name. Aparajita, correct.
I wanted to ask, how does someone decide if they want to take a domestic life or a monastic life?
Oh, that is a very difficult question to answer, If one has to judge for oneself how the attractions of the personality are, because one has attraction towards the worldly so-called enjoyments as well as the attraction towards God. But now we have to see which needs to be given scope. So everybody is a bit different person, Cannot set that given that this is, if you see this, then you are fit for monastic life. If you see this, then you are not. That externally such criteria is difficult to be presented. It is not like you are eligible for the armed forces service if your height is so much, if less not. It is not so clear cut. One has to look at the movements of one's mind and then decide. But one important thing is that spiritual life is for everyone. Whether the common householder's life or a monastic life. A monastic life is a discipline that is adopted, but it does not mean automatically the person will realize God. It is, one of my teachers used to very nicely tell that it is, you have taken up this attire, means like a soldier, say, going to fight a war. Now just by putting on the soldiers that a nice looking, impressive dress, that doesn't mean that you are, you have fought the war. War is still ahead. The battle is still ahead. You have to win the battle. So, this is just like putting on the clothes. An external thing is like that. Not say getting into a marital or romantic relationship. Good, but that doesn't automatically mean that you are going towards God. There are various reasons for which people avoid romantic relationships. That doesn't mean that they are going to realize God. There should be two things, as Sri Ramakrishna mentions, that there should be the attraction to God, and there should be aversion from the sensual enjoyments. That is, whether you are taking a monastic life or householder's life, for both the goal is actually same. It is, one is the householder's life is like climbing on a hill, on a kind of curved path which is safer. Long path, but it is safer. And some that have that adventurous attitude, so they just climb steep. I saw the news, one 8-year-old boy climbed that El Capitan just like that from the steep side. So, there are some such things, but if I slip thrice, even climbing 5 foot this thing, then I should not attempt that. It is, the point is that reaching the goal. Whether you go straight up, maybe it is good, but depends on, it is how much, there are risks also. So there are risks in the householder's life that you may just get lost. This is a long path, but you like the beauty of the path itself, that you may not proceed further. So that is also, each path has its own difficulties. One has to think very deeply about it. Yeah. Any question here? No question. So, we shall conclude with the our regular closing chant. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Gol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Gol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. So I will not meet you out there today, because I am tested positive for COVID. So you will have an easy pass. I don't have much symptoms, so but it is good to be cautious. So
Interesting.
I will just greet you all from here and wish you all the best.
Well,
That is called, going through the easy pass. Otherwise, you will have to wait and I say hi and so forth.
yes.
So this is giving you an easy pass.
What made you go for a test?
Huh?
What prompted you to take a test?
Test, well, there was cough and another person living here had fever.
Okay.
So therefore the test was done and all three who are staying here have tested positive for now. So yeah, I always mention, we should have a positive attitude. So it is.
Oh, I do. Okay.
But I am okay. I don't have any problem as such. A little cough. That's
No
all.
big deal, that's true. I'm surrounded by them, oh my God. Well, we'll breathe outside a lot, we'll take a good step. Right? And what is the conflict? Okay, I don't. This room has pretty good acoustics, I don't know why.